welcome to a Cuppa with So Timeless with me, Rowena. It's lovely to see you again. Welcome. And to anybody who's new, welcome as well. And I do hope that you enjoy what I have to say. A bit of all sorts today, but getting back on track as well. And if you do enjoy what I've got to say, or if you watched any of my other videos and you're enjoying any of my series, please do remember to subscribe down below so that you don't miss out on any future videos. I must first of all apologise for the radio silence the last couple of weeks. It's been extremely hectic at home. My youngest daughter, I've mentioned before, is a dancer, and she goes to theatre school as well. So we have been through a series of competitions and performances the last 2 or 3 weeks, and rehearsals, and it's just been endless running around in circles of one thing and another. Everything's gone off well though. She's also been for auditions. Unfortunately, she didn't make it, although she did do extremely well. And we now coming towards summer holidays and towards the end of everything and a little break. Although, saying that, the summer holidays, there are many dance things planned, intensive workshops, etc. But they shouldn't interfere with my sewing time, I hope. So I've had minimal time for sewing, meaning I've had minimal time to do videos, but I'm back now. And what I decided to get stuck into first is to continue with my pattern, the resizing of the pattern that I'm doing of the blouse that I'm wanting to make for myself. It's a 1940s blouse, a little reminder. This is the pattern from the 1940s, and I have made this blouse before in a red with white spots fabric, and I absolutely love the style. I did love it in that fabric, but I'm doing it for myself in this fabric, and I'm hoping it looks just as good. I do love this fabric as well, and I'm a very much a blue and green sort of colorway person. I know I'm wearing purple today, I don't mind a bit of purple as well, but I'm really looking forward to this. So I've got to finish resizing the pattern, and I want to hopefully get it all cut out on fabric as well, and then maybe make it to actually doing the sewing together tomorrow, perhaps. Let's hope, fingers crossed. It would be really good if I could get the whole thing done this weekend, maybe get 1 or 2 videos out of it. Let's see what happens. I am also busy with the sort of semi-mini challenge that I started doing, and I'm also busy doing the pattern review videos, and I will get back to those as well. But I thought I'd start with this one because I really want to challenge myself. I've not done much resizing of patterns in the past where I've changed the sizes completely. I've done some, but not very many, and so I thought I'm going to show you what I am doing, how I do it, and we'll see how it goes. I might find that there's some areas that don't work as well as others, and then I can share with you what hasn't worked. If you have any tips for me, please leave them down below. I'm happy to hear, I'm happy to share and to be shared with, because it's always a good learning curve. So for now, I am going to go ahead and do some resizing, finish off this pattern. I hadn't got very far before. I think what have I done? All I've managed to do so far is the collar. So I'm going to do the rest of it, and I will try to do some filming of bits and pieces without being too boring to put in between, and then I'll be back shortly to tell you how it's gone, and have a chat before I start cutting out the fabric. I will see you soon. with, I think this is still the same cup of coffee as before actually. Probably a bit cool by now, but never mind. That's what happens when you get involved, is you forget about the actual drinking of the tea, coffee, water, whatever it is you're busy drinking at the moment. But I'm sure you all know that, those of you who sew as well, or do any other sort of crafting sort of things. So I've managed to, I hope, resize the pattern correctly. I pretty much am about a size 14, UK size 14. This pattern was round about a size 18. I've measured, I'm hoping this fits me. I think I've got it the right size, but I've got all my pattern pieces cut out and ready to go. So they're all, yeah. The pocket I haven't resized because didn't feel it needed to be resized. I've only gone down 2 sizes. The same size pocket should work, but everything else has been resized and is ready for cutting out. So I've got everything ready. I've got my pattern pieces. I've got my beautiful fabric. I'm really looking forward to it. I really hope it fits me because I'm really looking forward to wearing this fabric. I have my pins, my trusty dressmaking scissors, and when these ever give up one day, I'm gonna cry because I love these scissors, and I've had them, I think I've had them now for about 15 years, and touch wood, I've never even had to sharpen them. They're still going strong, so hopefully it stays that way. I've got my tailor's chalk, and I've also got my my marking paper and wheel, just in case the tailor's chalk is not enough for marking any pattern markings over. I didn't put all the pattern markings over because in these old patterns, the pattern markings aren't always very clear. They aren't always very easy to follow. They don't have anything. They don't have any numbers next to them, any sort of markings next to them to tell you what they actually are. So if they're obvious what they are, sometimes they are obvious. Dots are obvious, though they don't draw them with a line. They do dots, as you would have seen when I was trying to transfer the markings from one pattern piece to another. But hopefully I've got enough markings transferred over to be able to do this properly. So I am going to cut out the fabric now, and then I will check in you and let you know how that's gone, if there were any issues. I will see you shortly. Hello there, I'm back and I now have all the pattern pieces cut out. I didn't have any difficulties with any of them. They all seem to be absolutely fine. So the next test is how well they sew together, if there's any issues with measuring up. And I've just realized my first little issue, I've only cut one collar. I'm supposed to cut 2 on the fold. That's what happens when the pattern pieces aren't properly marked. I'll mark this for next time. it's something you need to be careful with if you do buy these vintage patterns. The instructions are in the instruction sheet inside. It tells you how many of each piece to cut out, and the pieces are numbered. So you do get instructions, but you do need to have a little bit of idea of what you're doing, because it doesn't tell you the folds very well either until you go into the instructions. So make sure if you use these patterns that you check all the instructions and everything, not just the pattern pieces. Read through everything. Not a problem though, I have quite a lot of spare fabric here left over, so it's not going to be an issue to cut out the other collar at all. And I'll just get that done. The other thing I haven't quite done yet, because I just wanted to check everything as I was unpinning as well, and I'm starting to run out of time today, is to transfer the pattern markings over. But I'll do that as I get to each piece that I'm unpinning. At the moment I'm just checking I've got the right number of each piece, so I've got 2 cuffs, so that's correct and right. So that's done, so the cuff is done. We'll put these into different piles so I know what I'm doing. A lovely pocket, and I couldn't remember actually when I made this the first time. I really should be checking the instructions as I go along, but I'll get those out when I'm sewing it together. I should be checking the pattern pieces, but because I've been sewing for such a very long time, I tend to think I know it all. I'm sure we've all been there. Well, not that I know it all, but that I know enough to not have to look at the basic instructions, like how many pieces of each pattern, etc., whether it needs to go on a fold, that kind of thing. But I wasn't quite there. So yeah, I've got plenty of fabric left over here, which I thought I would probably need for something, and just as well because I need it for the collar. So I'll get that cut out, and he said cut it out. I'll get that cut out and sorted. And I will get the markings transferred over. The other thing I didn't mention before, which I must just say, when I was doing the resizing, because I'm building up a pattern collection to use for my business, and so I would like to have things in a lot of different sizes. So if somebody would like to order something in a specific size, I have patterns ready in that size. So I tend to try and cut out different sizes as I'm working with each pattern, so they're ready, because the pattern part takes such a long time. I did go down one size at a time when doing this pattern. So the original pattern was around about a size 18, so I cut a size 16, and then the size 14 that I needed for myself. Now the 14 I'm going to measure again and check as I go along and as I put pieces together, because sometimes with tops I get away with a 12, and certain parts of the top I'm better off with a size 12, depending on the shape and the style of the top. So because my size isn't a one size fits all size, as none of ours are really, or very few people's are, I will check as I go along. Some people would make a dummy run. I don't tend to do that. I like to just work with the garment as I'm going. I think I learned that from my mom, to just go with it and make changes as you go along on the garment you're working on. But some of that will depend on your confidence and your experience as well, and previous experience. Have you had a bad experience doing that? Have you found that you've wasted fabric doing that? So you feel that making out of a cheap fabric, it's better to make a dummy run garment out of a cheap fabric to ensure that your finished garment is going to be exactly correct and right. Anyway, that's enough about that. I will be back when I'm sewing this all together. Whether I do that very next, I don't know if that will be the next video. This will be this video now, done. and I hope it wasn't too boring. Just getting back into it, a restart of my videos again. Hopefully I can be back on a more regular basis again like I was doing before. I'm really hoping. I really want to get the pattern review one done, because I have another 1 or 2 patterns that I would like to review as well, and that I'm really looking forward to making. And also my daughter's just asked me to make her a dress of a brand new simplicity pattern, and it's not strictly a vintage pattern, although there's elements of vintage to it, so I may do that as a pattern review video as well. But for now, I will come back soon with the completion of this blouse, putting it together and completing it as soon as I can. And I'll get back to reviewing the other pattern that I was reviewing, which I think I've just got to cut out the fabric next and then sew together as well. So I've done all the pattern pieces and sorting out the pattern pieces. And I'll get back to my mini challenge, because I'm looking forward to doing some proper challenges. That one wasn't really a proper one. It was just using what I had at the time and making something I wanted to make, turning it into a challenge, as it were. But I'm looking forward to doing a proper challenge and looking at challenging myself and showing you what's possible. What's hopefully possible. We'll see if it works. Thank you so much for joining me today. It really has been lovely seeing you again. Look forward to more of you joining me in the future. And if you do have any ideas of things you'd like to see in the future, things you'd like me to be doing in the future, please do drop me a line down below. I'm very, very happy to get ideas, to get things from you. I always look forward to the messages I receive, and I will see you soon again. Have a good weekend and a good week. Take care.